Hi, this is Ajay Anand and welcome to science classes from excelup.com. In this video, we will learn about the human eye and colorful world around us. We'll be learning about the structure of human eye, about certain vision defects in human eye and how these defects are corrected. Then you will learn about dispersion of white light and you will learn about scattering of light. We will also learn about certain interesting natural phenomena which happen because of dispersion of light or because of scattering of light or because of refraction of light. This diagram shows the structure of the human eye. The human eye is in the shape of a sphere with a small bulge on the front. The outer layer of the human eye is called cornea, and this is transparent on the front, on the bulge portion. Okay. Now behind the cornea there is iris. Iris is composed of muscle fibers and it is controlled by another muscular body called ciliary body, and there is a hole at the center of the iris. This hole is called the pupil. The lens is just behind the iris. So what happens, this ciliary body, it helps in regulating the size of the iris so that the aperture of the pupil can be adjusted. So in case of high intensity light, the size of the pupil it reduces to allow less amount of light to enter the eyes, and if there is low intensity light, then the size of the pupil it increases to allow more quantity of light inside the eyes. These diagrams, they show the structure of the shutter of a camera, and that is how the irises work. So the shutter of a camera is composed of many blades which can slide over each other, and because of their sliding motion, the aperture of the camera it can be increased or it can be decreased. The iris works in the same way. Now the layer at the back portion of the human eye is called retina, and retina is composed of photosensitive cells. So images are formed on retina, and the nerve cells, they are attached to the retina. They carry the signal to optic nerve, and optic nerve carries the signal to the brain, where brain interprets the image. Now the human eyeball can be divided into two chambers. One chamber is in front of the lens and another chamber is behind the lens. The chamber in front of the lens is filled with a liquid, and the liquid is called aqueous humor, and the liquid on this portion it is called vitreous humor. So this is all about structure of the human eye. Now this diagram shows the image formation in human eye. So this is an object, this is the lens of human eye. So since the lens is a convex lens, so it makes a real and inverted image on retina, and the brain picks the signals and brain interprets it as the erect image. Okay. Now human eyes, it is having some unique properties. One of the properties is about the field of vision. The field of vision of single eye is 150 degree, and with two eyes this becomes 180 degrees. So we can see wide view through our two eyes. Another advantage of two eyes is the binocular vision. Since the position of two eyes, each eye is different from each other, so each eye it sees an object from a different angle, and thus two images they are formed in the brain, and juxtaposition of these two images because of different position of eyes, it creates an illusion of the three-dimensional view of whatever we see in front of us. Another property of human eyes is the power of accommodation. The human eye can easily focus on a nearby object as well as on a distant object, and because of this we can clearly see a nearby object as well as a distant object. Say for example, we can see the moon, the stars, and we can also clearly see our fingernails. And this property of human eyes is called the power of accommodation. Now let us move on to the malfunctions of eyes. First of all, it is about myopia. Myopia is also called nearsightedness, because a person suffering from myopia can clearly see nearby objects, but he is unable to see distant objects. So this figure shows the problem with myopic eye, these two figures, and this figure shows how it is rectified. The first figure shows that the far point of myopic eye, it comes nearer to the eye, and because of this, when the objects they are near the eyes, the image is clear on retina. But when the light rays are coming from distant objects, they get focused in front of retina instead of getting focused on the retina. So a blurred image is formed on retina, and due to this, a myopic person is unable to clearly see a distant object. This problem is rectified by using a concave lens of suitable focal length. So what does concave lens do? See, these are the rays of light, they are coming from distant objects. So once they pass through the concave lens, they appear to be coming from the far point of the myopic eye, and due to this, the image is formed at retina and the person is able to clearly see the distant objects. Now another common problem of eyes is hypermetropia or far-sightedness. The person who is suffering from hypermetropia, he can clearly see distant objects, but he finds it difficult to see nearby objects. So what happens in hypermetropia? The near point of the eye, it goes farther from the eye than it normally is. So the new near point, from the new near point, when the object is placed over this position, the image is clearly formed on retina. But if the object is placed at the normal near point or the near point of a normal eye, these rays of light, they get focused behind the retina and image is formed over here. So a blurred image will be formed on the retina, and due to this, the person is unable to clearly see a nearby object. Now it is rectified by using a convex lens of suitable focal length. So what does this convex lens do? These are the rays of light coming from the near point of a normal eye, and because of refraction from this lens, they appear to be coming from the near point of the hypermetropic eye, and image is now formed on retina, and due to this, the hypermetropic person is able to clearly see a nearby object. Two other problems of human eye are, one is cataract and another is presbyopia. In case of cataract, the cornea gets clouded because of deposition of debris inside it, and because of this, the opacity of cornea increases and person, he finds it difficult to clearly see the objects around him. The treatment for cornea is a surgical procedure in which a debris is cleared, and usually lens is also transplanted, an artificial lens, and the process is called IOL. IOL stands for intraocular lens transplant. Another problem is presbyopia. It happens because of aging. Because of aging, what happens? The near point of the eye, it tends to move farther and farther away along with advancing age, and due to this, the person is unable to clearly see the nearby object. So this is presbyopia. Sometimes the person can be suffering from hypermetropia and myopia at one time. So in that case, the person needs to wear bifocal glasses. A bifocal glass, it contains a convex lens as well as a concave lens. So the convex lens is usually smaller in size and it is used for reading newspapers or visualizing nearby objects, and the concave lens, it is used for viewing the distant objects. Now let us move on to the dispersion of white lights. This is a prism. A prism is a transparent object which is triangular in shape with rectangular sides, walls. Okay. So since prism is usually made of glass or it can be made of plastic, so what happens when a ray of light enters the prism from air, it undergoes refraction. Okay, so it will deviate from its normal path. Because of the unique shape of prism, what happens, the lights of different wavelengths, they deviate at different angles. And we know that white light is composed of 7 colors, so all those components, they will be deviating at different angles. So when this ray of light, it emerges from the prism, the white light, it gets segregated into its component colors, and this phenomenon, that is of segregation of component colors of white light through a prism, is called dispersion of white light. Okay, so one interesting and beautiful natural phenomena which happens because of dispersion of white light is rainbow formation. So the raindrops which are suspended in clouds, they work like prism. So when a ray of white light, it comes to the raindrop, it enters the raindrop and gets deflected because of refraction of light. Inside the raindrop, these rays of light, they experience total internal reflection and they bounce back towards their original path. And once they emerge from the raindrop, they form a band of 7 colors which appears like rainbow in the sky. So 3 phenomena, they are involved in formation of rainbow. One is refraction of light, another is total internal reflection, and the third is dispersion of white light into its component colors. Some interesting natural phenomena, they happen because of atmospheric refraction. You know that atmosphere is composed of several layers, and different layers, they have their own optical densities. So what happens when the ray of light, it travels through subsequent layers of atmosphere, it experiences deviation in its path because of refraction of light, and because of such deviation, certain natural phenomena, they happen. So one example is the apparent position of stars. So as we go down towards the earth, the refractive index tends to increase through subsequent layers of atmosphere, and because of this, the ray of light, it will tend to bend towards the normal as it goes through different layers of the atmosphere. So as a result, what happens, the star which is here, it appears to be here. So the apparent position of star is somewhat higher than its actual position. Okay. Another phenomena is the twinkling of stars. So when the light rays from stars, they travel through so many layers of atmosphere, they experience many deviations in their path. Sometimes it can be towards the normal, and sometimes it can be away from the normal. So since a star is a distant object, so it acts like a point source of light. So what happens, the apparent position of star keeps on changing with every few seconds, and that is why it appears to be twinkling or flickering. Okay. Now planets, they do not twinkle, or the light from planet, it doesn't appear to be flickering. This happens because planets are very near to us compared to the distance of stars. So planets, they do not work like a point size source of light, and that is why planets, they do not twinkle, and stars twinkle because they act like point size source of light. Okay. Now another example is advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. So we are able to see the sunrise much before the actual sunrise, and we are able to see the sun even sometimes after the sunset. Let us try to understand why does this happen. This is the actual position of sun, and this is the apparent position of sun. So what happens, the light rays, when they are traveling from the sun to the observer, they bend towards the normal because of increasing refractive index when we move towards earth through the atmosphere. Okay, and because of this, the apparent position of sun is somewhat higher than its actual position, and due to this, the sun, we are able to see the sun somewhat before the actual sunrise, and we continue to see the sun somewhat after the actual sunset. Okay. Now, another phenomenon with related to light is scattering of light. Whenever the ray of light it strikes a particle, a small particle, it gets deviated, it gets scattered, and this is called scattering of light. The particle size should be somewhere equal to the wavelength of light. So it depends. The particle size can be equal to the wavelength of blue color, or maybe equal to the wavelength of red color or green color or whatever. And depending on the size, we witness various natural phenomena because of scattering of light. One of them is Tyndall effect. So in your science lesson in class 9th, you must have read about mixture, suspension and colloid, and you must have read that when you throw a torchlight on a colloid, you can clearly see a beam of light, and the beam of light can be seen because of scattering of light, and this effect is called Tyndall effect, the appearance of beam of light through a colloidal solution. Another example of Tyndall effect is the beams of light which you may have seen coming through the holes in the ventilation or small slit in the door, especially in the early morning or evening because of sunlight. Another phenomena is the blue color of sky. The blue color has smaller wavelength, and that is why blue color is scattered the most through the atmosphere. And so you can say the blue color is distributed, spread the most throughout the sky, and due to this we are able to see blue color only, and the sky appears blue. Now another phenomena is the color of sun during sunset and sunrise, that is reddish. What happens during sunset and sunrise? The rays of light from the sun, they have to travel a longer distance because they are coming from the horizon. Okay. Now the red color, it is the least scattered because it has a larger, longer wavelength, and because of being least scattered, it is the red color or colors in the towards the red band of the spectrum, they are able to reach our eyes, and because of this the sun appears red or orange or yellowish during sunset and sunrise. So to sum up, I talked about the structure of human eyes, vision defects and their correction. Then I talked about certain interesting natural phenomena which happen because of scattering of light, because of dispersion of white light, and because of refraction of light. That's all. Thank you.